This video will explore which way shadows go. It's useful to know where the shadows should be, so I'm going to talk about vertical and horizontal poles on vertical and horizontal walls. So this is the easiest scenario where you have a vertical pole on a wall casting a vertical shadow. Now on vertical surfaces, the shadows of horizontal poles can either be horizontal, converging horizontal, or diagonal. So here is a horizontal pole creating the horizontal shadow. In the second case, we have horizontal converging poles that create horizontal converging shadows. And in this final one, we have a pole that's perpendicular to the wall creating diagonal shadows, and we'll get into this a great deal more. On horizontal surfaces, the two types of poles can cast either horizontal or converging horizontal shadows. So the vertical pole here can cast a horizontal shadow. And the horizontal pole here can also cast a horizontal shadow. Now the vertical poles can cast converging horizontal shadows that go to the shadow vanishing point, and horizontal poles like this create converging horizontal shadows that go to the same vanishing point as the poles. This picture shows you how vertical and horizontal poles line up. The vertical poles cast vertical shadows on the vertical wall and horizontal converging shadows on the floor. In contrast, red horizontal converging poles cast diagonal shadows on the wall and horizontal converging shadows on the ground. Whenever you see a diagonal shadow, look for a horizontal pole that's perpendicular to that surface, and that would be the top of this window. And this diagonal shadow is from a pane from that window. It becomes a horizontal converging line on the ground. This horizontal shadow is from a vertical pole. Here's a tricky shadow. Let's start with the pole that comes out of the wall from 1 to 2, perpendicular to the wall. It casts this shadow down from 1 to 2. Since number 2 in front is connected to 3, their shadow must also be connected. And then we have a lot of vertical shadows on the vertical wall due to vertical poles. These diagonal shadows indicate that there's a horizontal pole coming out of the door towards us, and also one over here. And the fact that this shadow is a little longer than this one means that the handle is further away from the door than the knocker, and that makes sense. Usually handles are further away. So I tried to draw the little pole right here, and you have shadow lines that go through the back of it and light rays that go through the front of it, and they meet at the intersection on the shadow. And here again is a very tiny horizontal pole coming towards us with shadow lines on its base and light rays through its top, and it marks a point on the shadow. This horizontal shadow is from this horizontal post. To understand the shadow, let's first find the sun rays. So the sun goes from this point to this point, like that. And there's another area here and here where we can find the sun. So the sun is in the upper right and the light rays are parallel. Now this first pole comes out of the wall perpendicular to the wall, so it creates a diagonal shadow. It connects to a vertical portion of this handle that creates a vertical shadow. And then finally, we have this horizontal pole again, creating a diagonal shadow. And in order to determine which part casts which shadow, the light rays connect the part of the object that creates that part of the shadow. Here's a summary of this video. My next video will be about shadows of rectangles.